What's going on, everyone? I'm glad you're here today because this one is going to be a little bit interesting. So today I want to talk about placing artificial limits and boundaries on yourself and then dealing with some of the regrets that can come along with that. All right, so bear with me for just a minute and let me ask you a question. How many times have opportunities presented themselves to you, or maybe new ideas pop in your mind, and then without even giving it a chance, you talk yourself completely out of it by thinking about all the reasons why, like that would be too hard to accomplish or that wouldn't even work? So I would say, and I would think for the most part, that a lot of us probably do this, right? But the problem is when you continually do this over and over, you sort of train your mind to always think about the downsides instead of any upsides, right? You completely talk yourself out of it. So now what happens is every new opportunity that's placed in front of you, you automatically find all the faults before you even say yes to the opportunity and try it or start it. Basically, you're kind of getting in your own way, and it's probably affecting your life in some way. I mean, I talk about saying yes to new opportunities all the time, and I've even made a few videos about it. Most recently, just a few weeks ago, when I talked about the time when I turned left out of the parking lot instead of turning right, and that led me to having a fantastic night, and I met some really cool people that I wouldn't have otherwise met. Be aware of yourself and pay attention to those times when you immediately look to the negative instead of the positive. Catch yourself and stop it. And here's the other thing. Your friends or your family, or really anyone who's close to you that knows what's going on in your life, if you ask them why they think that you haven't achieved more, I mean, chances are they'll tell you exactly why, because it's clear to those people on the outside. I mean, they'll say like, why didn't you take that one job offer? I mean, maybe it meant that you had to move to a new city, but why didn't you take it? Why didn't you ask out that one woman that one time? Because you still talk about it. And why haven't you started that podcast that you've been talking about for the last 2 years? So a lot of times it's easier to see the answer from the outside looking in, right? Because when you're the one who's deep within your own life and you've got everything swimming around in your head, it's way more difficult to see things clearly. Other people can see it just fine, but you can't. And listen, if this is having an impact on your life, it might be time to do something about it and maybe talk to a professional who can help add some clarity. And let me just say, just for the record, there's no shame whatsoever in asking for help. And that's why I'm glad that BetterHelp is sponsoring today's video. So look, BetterHelp's mission is to make professional counseling accessible, affordable, and convenient, so really anybody who's struggling with the ups and downs of life can get help anywhere at any time. And without exception, all of the counselors on the BetterHelp platform are licensed, trained, experienced, and accredited psychologists, marriage and family therapists, clinical social workers, and board-licensed professional counselors. Here's the thing though, BetterHelp isn't this crisis line or self-help. This is professional therapy done securely online. BetterHelp assesses your needs and then matches you up with your own licensed professional therapist, and you can start communicating in less than 48 hours. The cool thing is you can log in anytime and message your therapist, and you can also schedule weekly phone or video sessions, all from the comfort and security of your own home. And here's something else that's really cool. BetterHelp also realizes that finding a quality therapeutic match is very critical. So they make it easy and free to change therapists if that's what you need, right? So if you're ready to join the over 1 million people that are already taking charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional, click the first link down below in the video description to betterhelp.com/fashion. That's betterhelp.com/fashion, and you can get 10% off your first month. Thank you, BetterHelp, for supporting my channel and sponsoring today's video. So look, truth be told, I'm kind of going through a bunch of this stuff on my own right now. I'm working behind the scenes on a couple of things, and I'm in the very early stages of starting something, but it's kind of freaking me out. And I realize that I am my own resistance. So be aware and ask yourself, how do you get in your own way? Are you scared? Do you make excuses? Maybe you think you're not good enough. Are you an overthinker and then you just end up overanalyzing everything? When the door to opportunity opens right in front of you, what gets in your way? Because listen, one of the first and best ways that you can get out of your own way is to identify why that happens in the first place. I think about regret a lot, maybe more than I should, but I mean, look, I'm in my early 50s and I don't know how much time I have left. I mean, none of us do, right? And I'm not perfect. I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, and some of them pretty monumental. But what you can't do is allow your past mistakes to dictate your future or even define who you are right now. Because look, here's the thing. I feel like the older you get and the amount of time that you have in front of you versus what's behind you, the more you start to sort of reminisce about all those missed opportunities and the chances that you should have taken, the opportunities that you passed on, and all those things that you never took advantage of. And you hear older people talk about this all the time, and it's the fear of regret. Regret is one of those worst feelings for the simple reason that you could have done something to prevent it when you had the chance to. I mean, look, it's pretty safe to say that we probably all have some regrets, right? But my wish for you going forward, starting right now, is to eliminate as many chances as possible for regret from now until the day that you're done. And I'm not trying to be morbid or anything, but sometimes it's best just to say yes and go. Don't think. Be aware and be mindful that you're placing these artificial limits on yourself that might be keeping you from living a better life or being happier in the life that you have right now. It's time to think big, my friend. Go big or go home, baby. And look, you guys know that I love you. And listen, if you're not yet subscribed, please consider doing that right now because I'm here at least twice a week. And with that, my friends, as always, thank you so much for watching. Live well, and I'll see you in the next one.